Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday the 13th, and hopefully a day where everything is going to run a little smoother than yesterday. My apologies for having to omit some of the program last evening, but I did spend much of the overnight getting a few things repaired and back online. We should be, you'll notice, fingers crossed, should be okay for the rest of the evening, at least for the foreseeable future. Headlines tonight will, one way or the other, include the groundbreaking ceremony earlier today for the Route 30 bridge, and we learned a lot while there, and also about a second bridge which is going to be constructed in the general vicinity of Magoffin County. And we'll take a look at the Mountain Parkway widening project. I learned some things there too that I get to share with you tonight, and I got some really good video about concerning the project ongoing with the Gifford Bridge. And we'll also talk about a formal proceeding which has been set by the Magoffin County Judge Executive to remove, it appears as though, 3 members of the Magoffin County Library Board. I'll have a letter that was sent to those members in front of me. We'll go over that in just a few moments. And the Kentucky Humanities Council is back with not one but 2 Chautauquas coming up this weekend, presented by our Magoffin County Civil War Committee. I'll make the announcement tonight. Maybe we can get somebody with the Civil War Committee to tell us a little more about them a little later on in the week. With all of that said, we'll go ahead and jump right into our first and top story this evening. A groundbreaking ceremony held earlier today where local and state legislators and others were on hand to throw a little dirt, ceremoniously, of course, as the bridge itself will begin to be under construction next year and be completed about 110 days thereafter.
It's old, it's narrow, it's dangerous, and it's going to be replaced with a new $2.2 million structure, the project in all. And it will be done sometime late next year. A total of 110 days from start to finish will see a new bridge on this particular span of Route 30 after a formal groundbreaking ceremony earlier today.
The new bridge that we're breaking ground on today will replace an old structure, outdated. The existing bridge was built in 1932. It has 2 9.5-foot wide travel lanes and is considered to be functionally obsolete, meaning it does not meet the modern design standards for bridges of this type. Several years ago, the need for the replacement of this bridge was made more apparent when the existing bridge was damaged to an oversized piece of equipment that wrecked and overturned on the bridge.
And it's not only old and narrow, but it's also at the end of a wide sweeping curve that restricts the view of oncoming traffic for those traveling westbound on 30. The new bridge is going to be built to modern design standards with wider lanes and other amenities. And everyone in attendance today was of unanimous opinion that it wouldn't have happened without the support and dedication and persistence of our state representative, John Short.
I just want to thank everybody, like I say, for giving me the opportunity to come up here and get this. I'm sorry it took so long to get the Route 30 bridge approved. We've had right-of-way issues. We've had a little bit of everything that's tried to stop us. But like I say, when you take no for an answer, you get nothing. So with that said, I want to thank Governor Beshear as much as anybody, because without the governor, I wouldn't have got nothing. My last 4 years, the 92nd district has been the #1 district in the state of Kentucky on discretionary money. I've just been there. This is the beginning of my 5th year. So the last 4 I've been #1 is discretionary money. But the reason being is because, like I say, y'all treat me like family, and I think I've shown you I'm going to take care of my family.
So obviously this is a safety project. Not only is the bridge going to be replaced with a wider bridge, a more modern bridge, but we are going to make a little revision to that curve. You know, if you're traveling west on 30 toward Breathitt County, there's a long sweeping curve there, and you have to slow down if you're meeting another vehicle. So there are going to be some revisions made to that curve as well. This will end up being a much safer bridge and a much safer stretch of roadway for the public that travels in that area.
And it won't be the only bridge under construction around the same time in that general vicinity of Middle Fork or Route 30 in Magoffin County, per an announcement by Judge Executive Charles Hardin.
So I would like to announce that due to the efforts of Rooster and the work of Mike, we are going to replace the McFarland Bridge, which is just right up from your all's bridge. So we'll be doing 2 bridge projects. And it comes from the money that $100,000 can be spent on different bridges total. The governor and his staff and the state providing $80,000. The county comes up with $20,000. We used to do these bridges and we would bid them out. And in the beginning, we would get almost right on the mark 2 bridges. Toward the end, it got to where we were doing 50-50 because the bids were pretty good bids and not many people were bidding on them. So I went and talked to Mike, and we talked to the people over in Jackson, and they also talked in Frankfort. And we hired a guy who's done a lot of bridge work, and we've been building these bridges ourselves. And we have done 27 bridges since I've been judge. And this bridge is estimated to cost about $75,000 if we bid it out. We will do it at a cost of $30,000. So we're able to get twice as much. So I want to go on record as 3 things. I want to thank the state for giving us the extra money and showing the confidence in us to let us try to see that we could do these bridges up to their standard. 2, to thank the bridge crew and Mike for his efforts. And to thank John Short for being the best representative that anybody has in the state of Kentucky.
And with the toss of some dirt by a few ceremonious golden shovels, the official groundbreaking took place in the parking lot of the Magawa County Health Department. For obvious reason, well, there's just no way to get in, around, or certainly on the Route 30 bridge. Not even hardly enough room for traffic. Much safer here. There will be an official dedication when the structure is complete, once again sometime late next year. Crews have been busy and have already completed removing or moving some utility lines in the area. And we'll continue to see some early pre-construction activity in that vicinity for some time to come.
I had to cut it a bit short due to those technical difficulties I was experiencing last evening, but I did mention briefly that they were to be putting 7 long, more than 100 feet long spans of beams, if you will, across the Mountain Parkway today, and that would, of course, cause some traffic problems in the area. It was due to start about 9 o'clock. It didn't start till a little bit later on in the afternoon, but I was there when it did. It made for some interesting video, and a couple of neat facts accompany that story that's coming up right after these messages.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
If you were caught in traffic on the Mountain Parkway for a period of time earlier today, a very good reason as to why. A historical report in Nature, as a significant part of the Mountain Parkway expansion project was lowered into place, actually 7 of them earlier today.
As I referred to on last night's program, crews had already set in place beginning yesterday 7 58 feet long beams that go up to the edge of the Mountain Parkway, if you will. These today were 7 102 feet long beams that will span across the Mountain Parkway connecting Gifford Road on either side. And that, as I learned, takes a lot of ingenuity and experience to transport. Not to mention what I must imagine are some very brave individuals. I had never noticed or seen, to my knowledge, beams of this nature being transported in this nature. I might have passed some of these folks before and not seen them, or maybe not. I don't know. All I know is I was completely taken back when I saw the first one get out from under the transport in his rig and then tell me off camera that today was a good day to have his job, saying that it was those cold, rainy, or snowy days that it was not so nice. Can you imagine the view or the nerve it must take to ride such a distance there? I can't. I just simply can't. Nevertheless, there were 7 beams that were brought in. It was to begin around 9 o'clock this morning. It was actually closer to 2 until they started to set the first beam. I'm sure traffic was an issue. But once they all arrived, they began to put them into place. And I watched as, historically, another portion of the Mountain Parkway expansion project started to take shape. The bridge beam placements are scheduled to be completed by tomorrow when the last 7 beams are placed across the other 58-foot span on the north side of the parkway. Altogether, 21 beams will support a 260-foot bridge that will carry Gifford Road across the Mountain Parkway. The new bridge is expected to be completed by sometime next year. The interchange at Gifford Road, which will provide access to the industrial park, is set to open to traffic in early 2017. And one last thing I want to pass along to you that I learned today. I spoke to someone off camera and anonymously, not because they were sharing something that they weren't allowed to or that wasn't public knowledge. They just were an employee of the state and hadn't got permission to speak on camera, but filled me in on something that I had a misunderstanding about, and I am sure a lot of other folks did too, because it's a conversation I've had with many people, and it concerns the most recent widening portion of the Mountain Parkway project, that one close to Campton, that few miles that took about 5 years to complete. I made the remark in front of him that this project seemed to be going much faster than that did, because everyone thought and knew that that just drug on forever. But he says, well, it wasn't because of the crews, it wasn't because of the plans or anything of that nature. It was because of a financial situation. He said the state only had $10 million to put towards that $50 million project, and they worked out a deal with the construction company to do $10 million a year worth of work for 5 years. The state would get $10 million as it came along and use it for that project. And that's why that last few miles that was done near Campton took right at 5 years to complete. They weren't working slow or inadequately. They were just working on what money the state had. So now you know. An announcement right now, maybe some more information to come later on in the week before we turn to our community calendar this evening. I can tell you the Kentucky Humanities Council is back with Harlan Colonel Sanders and Grandpa Jones. Left in the little magic brass box on my front door here at the studio. I found this when I came in today and had to get it out there as soon as possible. The Kentucky Humanities Council presents David Hurt as Grandpa Jones, country musician and comic. Now, this is a free Chautauqua series. A dramatic impact is what you'll feel afterwards, and it's going to be here in Salyersville at the Magoffin County Health Department this Saturday starting at 7:30, sponsored by the Magoffin County Civil War Committee. You want some entertainment unlike anything else that you're going to be able to find and experience? This is it. And, well, we all might learn something as well. They've been having these now for quite some time, Abraham and Mrs. Lincoln, and a host of others, and this is just the latest in the series that the Civil War Committee in Magoffin County has invited to the area. This Saturday, 7:30, for Grandpa Jones and Harlan Colonel Sanders, as presented by Henry Dow. Sanders more than fried chicken, it says. Now, both of these start, actually, the first one is at 6, and that is, I'm glad I got that right, 6 o'clock for Colonel Sanders, and then following will be Grandpa Jones at 7:30. Both are free. You can come and take in both. They've got plenty of seating. A wonderful evening at the Magoffin County Health Department this Saturday. I've got birthdays starting off tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. The first one is a happy belated birthday, it says. It comes in honor of Travis Fletcher, it says, whose birthday was yesterday. With a lot of love from Mom, Dad, Mama, sister, family, and friends. Happy birthday to you, Travis. And I've got a birthday here. It says a belated birthday for the 11th to Dorothy Minix. Happy birthday, Dorothy. One more birthday announcement for this Tuesday, and it goes out to Rick Fletcher. With a lot of love and best wishes, happy birthday to Rick Fletcher. Love your wife, sons, family, and friends. Happy birthday, one and all. This is notification that the North Magoffin Elementary Site-Based Council, that didn't last long enough, did it? The Site-Based Council of North Magoffin meets tomorrow. It's a regular session meeting, 4:30 in the school's conference room. Everyone is invited to attend. And the Healthy Holiday Cooking Series, a free cooking series, is taking place on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays at the Licking River Baptist Church at 5:30. Wednesdays at the Magoffin County Extension Office at noon. And I realize that font is not the easiest to read. I'll change that for tomorrow. Nevertheless, they're going to have these all the way through about the second week in November and talk about preparation of sides, appetizers, entrees, desserts, and more. Call 349-3216 to find out more about this free, healthy holiday cooking series. And a reminder to our Magoffin County senior citizens, due to some training that is required, the commodities have changed. The commodity day has been changed. Commodities will be given out this Friday, the 16th, at normal time, due to some training they have to take on Thursday. Sagersville Free Will Baptist Church with Pastor Floyd Arnott invites you to special services with Todd Masters this Friday and Saturday at 7. Homecoming and Family and Friendship Day will be Sunday at 11 with Todd Masters, and dinner will follow, and this is your invitation. Everyone is invited to join them. And don't forget about the free Christian concert at the Mountain of Hope Christian Camp on Burning Fork Road this Saturday, noon till 6, featuring Southern Gospel, Bluegrass, and contemporary Christian music. Bring a chair and come to enjoy a great gospel music show and great fellowship. All churches, you're invited to come and participate, or just sit and enjoy the show yourself as well. They have free hamburgers and hot dogs and pop. And the Bradley Free Will Baptist Church is having homecoming and old-fashioned day this Sunday with dinner following the service. Everyone is welcome. This comes from Pastor Randy Haney and everyone at the Bradley Free Will Baptist Church. And one more reminder, the Christmas in November Arts and Crafts Show in the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in Sagersville is not until the 30th and 31st. If you want to set up a table inside, you need to call and get your name on the list by the 23rd. Those numbers to call are 349-4409 or 349-2313. That's it for tonight's calendar, with the exception of reminding you if you've got a birthday, anniversary, or an announcement like this for your church, organization, or group, send them to us any way you can. I'll tell everyone about it. And that is as easy as dropping in the mail, phone, fax, email, Facebook. It all works. It all gets here, and it's all for free. And remember, you can catch programming the following day of Your News Today on yournewstoday.com. Turning to funeral service announcements, the service provided on behalf of the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Services were held earlier today for Lila K. Rice of North Church Street, preceded in death by her husband Howard. She's survived by daughters Beth Conley and Waynette McFarland and son Danny Rice. Once again, services held earlier today in her honor. 77-year-old Don Bailey of Parkway Drive passed away earlier this week, preceded to death by his first wife, Patricia Sue Johnson. He was married to Avenel Bailey, who survives, and he's survived by sons Samuel Thomas, Christopher Don, and Carrie Ryan, and daughter Lazaree Dawn Hall. Visitation is this evening, all day tomorrow, and prior to services, they've been set for Thursday morning at 11 in Don's honor, all from the Magoffin County Funeral Home, with burial afterwards at the Warney Bailey Cemetery at Bee Tree. And we've learned of the passing of 78-year-old Fonzie Howard of Buffalo Road here in Magoffin County in Sagersville. He passed away earlier this week. Arrangements, I'm told, are still incomplete at this time, but to be announced soon by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. And lastly tonight, one more announcement. This comes in loving memory of C.M. Whitaker, sadly missed by C.M. Gasparic and Jeanette, loved by grandchildren, family, and friends.
Our last update as it pertains to the Magoffin County Public Library Board's plans to tear down the old Sagersville First Baptist Church building in an effort to make way for a new and much expanded Magoffin County Public Library came from the most recent meeting, a special session of the Magoffin County Fiscal Court that met last Thursday, during which they passed a resolution saying that the Magoffin County Public Library Board was advised not to take any further action on the matter until the state could weigh in on the legality of whether or not 3 of the members' expired terms, as was said by Judge Charles Hardin in that meeting, would prevent them from acting in a legal manner. However, another development, as I have in front of me a letter that was issued to 3 library board members. Magoffin County Judge Executive Charles Hardin sent me a message earlier today and the accompanying letter saying that this letter had been delivered to 3 of the board members in question, saying that it served as a legal and formal notice by authority under Kentucky statutes that he is hereby initiating a formal proceeding and will conduct a hearing as the appointing authority under Kentucky law for the removal of those said library board members.
Hardin tells me that this letter was delivered to board chairman Ronnie Gullett as well as board members Reva Whitaker and Kim Rudd, saying that this removal hearing is based on what he says was inefficiency for a lack of properly preserving the integrity of the old Sagersville First Baptist Church building, thereby limiting the options of using it as a newly renovated Magoffin County Public Library and or purchasing a building that was not properly vetted to assure it could accommodate the Magoffin County Public Library. It goes on to say that these actions or lack of actions resulted in the payment of $450,000 for a lot that will now be used only for a building site. This ineffective use of $450,000 deprived the citizens of McGoffin County of the full benefit of their tax monies. It also ends by saying, this will also serve as notice per Kentucky statute that I will conduct this hearing on Friday, October the 3rd at 5 o'clock in the McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting room at the McGoffin County Courthouse.
Judge Hardin had to leave today's groundbreaking ceremony immediately thereafter to make it to a special ceremony in Frankfort at our state's capital tonight. He said he will be able to talk to me on the subject or give me some more information at a later time. We'll try to reach out to him as well as others involved and find out more about what this means to the project and the library board members in and of themselves. For now, I'll wrap it up, I suppose I will, tonight with your forecast, your Licking Valley RECC forecast, which will, well, have us cranking up the heat if you haven't already.
My family will tell you I'm one of those folks who will hold out for as long as he can before cranking up the heat that first time, because it doesn't go off after that. It might be coming for myself. A low of 41 degrees tonight under mostly cloudy skies, gradually becoming mostly clear. We've seen some cloud cover, and we'll see some over the course of the evening, but mostly cloudy to mostly clear skies tonight. West wind 5 to 7 becoming calm, and look for some patchy fog. Did I have frost on that? No, I didn't. I had it right. Patchy fog moving in late tonight. That will also be hanging around up until about 10 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Wednesday shaping up much like today. Highs in the upper 60s, around 67 degrees. Calm wind becoming west around 6 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, some more fog on the back end of your Wednesday. Otherwise, mostly clear finish, a mostly clear finish to your hump day. A pretty decent day, but definitely chilly at night with a low of 37 degrees. And it does have a chilly feel on into the forecast as we slowly make our way through it. Thursday, we have a relatively glancing blow from a cold front at the onset. 66 degrees to see the peak of Thursday, and a low of 48 that night. Fog in the morning, sun during the day. A 20% chance of showers, and I think it's mainly after midnight on your Thursday. And that 20% chance of shower comes as a cold front comes through and gives us a slight chance of some showers, mainly up until about noon on Friday. With that, though, we'll see some air sticking to right around the mid-60 mark, 64 degrees, a low of 38 that night. It's after that cold front rolls through, and on your Saturday that things get not so nice outside. And I think we'll be lucky right now. I don't use that lightly, but I think we'll be lucky to see about 55 degrees for daytime highs on your Saturday, and the low of 30 puts us in the frost area, possibly the first frost of the season, and I think we'll see that mainly after 2 a.m. should we see any frost, and right now it looks like a pretty good bet. So sunny, 55, clear skies, which will contribute to the frost chances, and a low of 30 Saturday night. The latter half of your weekend will start off with some of that widespread frost, I think, early Sunday, otherwise sunny, and even a degree cooler. 54 degrees, a low of 34 that night, mostly clear skies. Yep, heat and jacket time, heat and coat time is indeed upon us. We will rebound, I think, Monday of next week, the low 60s, Tuesday of next week, the upper 60s, but definitely a cold weekend ahead.
And I've already got a full day of news in store for you tomorrow. Still a bear story that I'm tracking down, and some other news and information that I promise you'll only see if you join us next time for more of Your News Today. For now, thank you for watching, and have a good night.